You guys, this is module 13 review, the area of polygons as your standard. And I just quickly go over this. So quadrilaterals are basically shapes that have four sides. So we have a square, which area we find by doing side square. So you do side times side, which is the same thing. Rectangle, you do base times height. Parallelogram, you also do base times height. Remember the height has to go from the tip of the top of the shape all the way to the base, making 90-degree angle. So this is not the height, this is the height, okay? And then for a trapezoid, you do half of the height times what you times the sum of the base 1 plus the base 2, and the other way to write it is base 1 plus base 2 divided by 2 times times height, because remember when you divide by 2 is basically the multiplied by 1/2. And then for the rhombus is diameter 1 times diameter 2 divided by 2. Okay, so let me go ahead and do one for each one of them, and then we'll go to the next one. So imagine there's a square. We have one that has a side of 5, so then centimeters. So you go 5 square, which is 25. So 25 centimeters square will be for the square. If we do a rectangle and we say that the base of rectangle is 10 and the height is feet, and then it's 8 feet. Base times height is 80, so the area will be 80 square feet. Okay, for the area. For a rhombus, we can say that you have. For the parallelogram, we can say that you have parallelogram that look like so. We're going to ignore the 5 because that's not the height. So I'm going to do 7 times 4, which is 20, and let's say that it's our inches. So then the area will be 28 inches square inches, okay? Let's do one for a trapezoid. Something like that, I can do half of 10, which is 5 times that added together, that's 10, so that's going to give me 15. Let's say that those are meters, square meters. Okay, and then for, let's say for this one right here, for the rhombus, we say that diameter 1 is 10 and diameter 2 is 20. I'm going to multiply those together, so that's 200 divided by 2. Oh, it's also written like this. Half of that is 100, and I say that those are millimeters, square millimeters. That will be the area for that. Okay, let's get to the triangle. Okay, triangle is base times height divided by 2, or also written as 1/2 times base times height. Make sure that you know that this is your base, but then remember the height has to be from the top to the base perpendicular. So this is my height, this right here is my height, and this is my height. Know this or know that. Okay, so let's go ahead and do some to do. Okay, this one right here, I have to ignore the 5 because it has nothing to do with the base and the height. So I go 4 times 3, which is 12 divided by 2. This is 6 square feet for the first one. Okay, on this one, I'm gonna do again base is 10. I'm sorry, base is 6, and then my height is 8. If I use this formula, I do half of the base, which is 3, right? So half of 6 is 3 times 4, that's 24. So 24 square inches. On this one, I'm gonna ignore that, and this I don't need that. I just need my base and my height. So I go 7. Half of 8 is so I can go 7 times 8, which is 56 divided by 2. That will give you 28. But if that's a little more difficult than if we say half of in either of those. So I can do half of base, which is, so I can do half of height, which is half of base 4, and 4 times 7 is 28. So that will be 28 square feet. Okay. This one, which is I think is the hardest lesson for this module. We're gonna have to find the unknown. So we're gonna solve the area equations, and the way to do that is to set up your formula first, and then erase what you know, write in what you know, and then figure out what you do not know. So the area for the area of a triangle, you do half of the base times the height. Remember, I can't switch those because of carrying property of multiplication. So then in this case, I have the area of 300. So I'm gonna write 300. Do I know my base? No, I don't. But do I know my height? Yes, I do. And I'm gonna go ahead and switch them like this. 50 and then times the base. I don't know my base. So then I'm gonna take this 2. So let me do it right here. Half of 50 is 25, so I have 25b, and then I have 300 on the other side. Inverse operation tells me to divide because that's been multiplied. What I do to one side, I do to the other side, and I do 300 divided by 25, 12. So then the base is 12 feet. Okay. This one right here, I have the area of the trapezoid, the base 1, base 2, but I don't have my height. So again, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to write the equation, and I'm going to, because on this one I'm only needing the height, I can actually do it the way that I do it. It's easier that way. When you don't have the base, it's easier to do the 1/2 times height. Okay, but I'm going to do the other way. So I do b1 plus b2 divided by 2 times height. I'm going to write what I know. Do I know base? Do I know area? Yes, that's 6550, so 6,550. Base 1 is 115, and then base 2 is 85. So I'm going to add those two together first. So 115 plus 85. So that's 200. Divided by 2 is 100, so I have 100h equals this. Divided by 100. Divided by 100. And remember, I don't even have to do long division where first one goes inside the house, because I taught you a trick that when you multiply or divide by a base of 10, so in this case 100 is a base of 10, that's 10 squared. This tells you, to how many times you moved your decimal to the left. So remember, whole numbers always have a decimal at the end, so I have it here, so I go 1, 2, and so my height's gonna be 65.5 centimeters. Okay, one more to do. Okay, and this one right here, area of polygons, I'm gonna have to chop it off in two shapes. So I have a triangle there and I have a trapezoid. So the triangle here, and I'm gonna do half of base times height, or base times height divided by 2. So half of my base is 6, so half of my base is 3, and then how tall is it? It doesn't show me the height right here, but I can figure out from here. So from here to here is 10, but from top to bottom all the way over here is 22. That means that this has to be 12 right here, right? Because 10 plus 12 gives me 22. So I multiply that times 12, and that's gonna give me 36 square feet. That's for the triangle. If I do it this way, I can do 6 times 12, which is 72, and divided by 2 is 36. So sometimes this one's easier than that. And then for the trapezoid, I have to do base 1 plus base 2 divided by 2 times height. So base 1 is, I can do 16 plus 16 plus 6, that would be 18, plus this is 20, divide that by 2, times it by how tall is, which is 10. 20 plus 18 is 38, divided by 2, that gives me 19, times 10. Remember, I don't have to multiply again, because I know that I have to move my decimal place that many times to the right. So then if 19 decimals right here, I go 1 placeholder, so that's 190 square feet for that one. Alrighty, God bless you. Adios.